The galaxy teetered on the edge of collapse. For decades, tenuous peace had held together a web of alliances between species with vastly different biology, psychology, and values. The humans had arrived late to the interstellar stage, but had quickly earned a reputation as shrewd, unpredictable negotiators. Despite being viewed as physically fragile, their ability to outthink, adapt, and persevere unsettled many of the older, more rigid species. Ambassador Lyra Voss was among the most respected human diplomats. She had resolved conflicts that entire fleets had failed to prevent. Her calm demeanor, razor-sharp logic, and unwavering commitment to peace were legendary. Yet, behind her iron professionalism was a mother, fiercely protective of her two young children, Kaelin and Mira. They accompanied her on most of her missions, their presence a symbol of her trust and her belief in the promise of peace. She was known for saying that the future she negotiated would be the world her children would inherit, so they would bear witness to every agreement. Lyra's ship, the Halcyon Grace, docked at the neutral station Orbitus Prime, chosen as the venue for the delicate peace talks between the Terran Alliance and the Valor Dominion. The Valor were a notoriously aggressive species, their empire carved through centuries of conquest. Humanity had stalled their advance in prior skirmishes, but remained eager to avoid a full-scale war. From the moment Lyra disembarked, she felt an undercurrent of hostility. The Valor representatives were cold and distant, far from the customary diplomatic stiffness. They scrutinized her children, their glances lingering, their silence speaking volumes. Still, Lyra pressed forward, focused on securing peace. The opening sessions were tense but civil. Valor Commander Zeret, who had earned infamy for his ruthlessness, led the Dominion's delegation. He spoke of terms and boundaries, but there was something hollow in his words. Lyra sensed it but pushed through, determined to find common ground. The turning point came swiftly and without warning. During a private negotiation in the main chamber, Zeret's guards surrounded Lyra and her children. They raised plasma rifles and fired without hesitation. 7 searing shots tore through flesh and bone, the air filled with the acrid scent of scorched tissue. Lyra's body convulsed and crumpled to the floor, her arms instinctively wrapping around her children as she lost consciousness. The Valor considered their objective complete. The human threat, they believed, had been neutralized. The guards discarded the bodies like refuse in a locked maintenance chamber, convinced they would soon expire from their wounds. But they did not die. Lyra's breathing, shallow and ragged, persisted. Her heartbeat, though faint, refused to cease. Pain flooded every nerve, but something far deeper surged within her, a primal force that would not allow her to abandon her children. Her mind, forged through years of negotiation and conflict, anchored itself in survival. Her heart, consumed by rage and love, propelled her battered body to move. Her vision blurred, the world spinning as she crawled to her injured children. They were alive, barely but alive. Time fractured. Every moment stretched as she assessed their injuries and instinctively applied pressure to their wounds. Their small hands clung to her as if the force of their grip alone could keep death at bay. Adrenaline surged through her bloodstream, overriding agony, igniting dormant capabilities whispered about in the deepest human medical archives, theoretical death water adaptations that few ever experienced. Her muscles responded with terrifying strength, her broken bones grinding as she forced herself upright. The chamber's sealed door mocked her. It was instructed to contain heavy cargo, rated to resist breaches even from industrial equipment. But it had not been designed to withstand a mother driven beyond the limits of biology. Lyra's hands clamped onto the door's edge. Muscles tore and reformed as she pulled with ferocity born not from training, but from an unyielding refusal to die here. Metal groaned, warped, then screamed as it yielded to her grip. With a final roar, she ripped the door from its frame and let it crash to the ground. The guard station outside froze. their expressions cycling rapidly from disbelief to terror. Lyra's eyes, blazing with focused fury, locked onto them. She moved without hesitation. A wrench discarded nearby became a weapon, crushing bone and armor with inhuman precision. She dispatched them swiftly, efficiently, retrieving their weapons and securing medical supplies. Her children needed care, and the Valor would not offer it. Carrying them one on each side, she navigated the corridors with ruthless intent, her mind balancing tactics, medical assessments, and the insatiable need to escape. Every engagement was a calculation, every move designed to conserve her strength while ensuring the path to safety. Her escape was not silent. The station security systems activated, alarms blaring, as Valor forces scrambled to intercept. They did not understand what they faced. They believed her survival was a statistical anomaly, an aberration soon to be corrected. They had not yet grasped that she had crossed into the realm of the impossible, driven by a purpose that transcended protocol, logic, and fear. She stormed through choke points, repurposed explosive devices, sabotaged control panels, and manipulated the station's gravity systems to hinder her pursuers. Every tool became a weapon, every obstacle a resource. She turned the station itself against those who sought to recapture her. Alien operatives reported her position with escalating panic. Entire squads refused to engage her directly after witnessing her feats. Some locked themselves in storage bays, preferring confinement over facing the human mother tearing through their defenses. Lyra commandeered a Valor medical ship, overriding its systems and launching from Orbitus Prime before the Dominion ships could react. She stabilized her children using the stolen medical equipment, her hand steady despite the unbearable weight pressing on her soul. She sent a transmission to the Terran Alliance. Her message was concise, her voice a cold blade. They targeted my children. I will not stop. The transmission shattered diplomatic channels. Human command responded within seconds. Reinforcements were dispatched, their silence more telling than any declaration of war. Across the galactic networks, news of her survival spread like wildfire. The footage captured by panicked Valor security drones circulated on every channel. Alien species watched in horror as Lyra Voss, riddled with wounds, carried her children while dismantling military squads with bare hands and improvised weapons. The title etched itself into the hearts of all who witnessed her relentless advance, the Mother of Vengeance. The galaxy reeled in the aftermath of Lyra Voss's survival. Governments convened emergency councils. Military strategists dissected the recordings of her escape, searching for explanations. What they found was a phenomenon they could not quantify, a human mother who tore through elite Valor squads with terrifying precision. No faction could ignore the implications. The diplomatic facade humanity once wore dissolved, replaced by something primal and unstoppable. The Terran Alliance issued no declarations. No ultimatums followed. They repositioned fleets without ceremony. Their silence was more unnerving than open hostility. Intelligence networks expanded rapidly. Known Valor sympathizers within neutral zones vanished without trace. Lyra Voss did not wait for approval. She became a shadow slipping between star systems, striking Valor assets with surgical precision. Supply depots, black sites, and relay stations crumbled under her hand. Each attack bore her unmistakable mark. Minimal human presence beyond herself, maximum Valor losses, and calculated sparing of non-combatants. Her message was deliberate and personal. Valor leadership dismissed her as a rogue agent and deployed bounty hunters, assassins, and covert operatives to neutralize her. None succeeded. Some vanished entirely. Others surrendered the instant they learned their target's identity. Survivors spoke of her gaze, a stare that unraveled them, a presence that obliterated resolve. Her name passed like wildfire through mercenary channels. No one accepted contract against her. She became untouchable, left to their own forces, The Valor watched as fear crept into their own ranks. Leaked transmissions revealed squads refusing deployment and commanders abandoning posts. Junior officers began questioning the wisdom of pursuing a human whose fury shattered conventional boundaries. The turning point came when Lyra intercepted a critical transmission pinpointing the location of Zaret, the Valor architect of the attack on her family. He had retreated to the Vortha's Spear, a dreadnought deep within Dominion territory. Conventional wisdom demanded a fleet to assault such a fortress. Lyra went alone. Using stolen clearance codes, she slipped through Valor checkpoints, exploiting systems she had studied as a diplomat. The dreadnought's defenses were formidable against fleets, but they had no countermeasures for a lone infiltrator who knew their blind spots. Inside, she dismantled power grids and life support with methodical precision. Panic consumed the crew as darkness spread. Automated defenses turned against them under her control. She cornered Zaret in his command center. His arrogance collapsed into desperation. He pleaded for understanding, framing his actions as strategic. Lyra did not argue. She paralyzed him deliberately, ensuring his survival, but leaving him trapped in a broken body. She transmitted a single message through emergency channels. "This is your debt. I will collect until it's paid." She left the dreadnought in flames, its leadership decimated. Valor fleet scrambled to adapt, but internal fractures widened. Some factions advocated retreat. Others demanded escalation. None could agree. Resistance groups across species began to rally behind her legend. Smugglers, informants, and rogue engineers offered aid not out of loyalty, but out of respect. She accepted their help, paid her debts promptly, and left no trail that endangered her allies. Her children remained her focus. She established hidden sanctuaries where trusted Terran specialists oversaw their recovery. She maintained constant communication through encrypted channels. Their voices remained her compass. Her next target was a cradle, a Valor prison infamous for holding political prisoners and suspected human sympathizers. Valor leaders planned to use human captives as leverage to force her surrender. She answered with action. Piloting a stolen Valor freighter, she breached the cradle's defenses using falsified credentials. Once inside, she armed prisoners and orchestrated an uprising. Valor guards collapsed under the coordinated assault. She seized control of the station's orbital defenses and turned them against incoming reinforcements. The cradle fell to a single human and a desperate band of former prisoners. Many chose to follow her, forming the core of a growing insurgency. They did not see her as a commander, but as the spark of their own fight. Valor worlds began to crack. Local uprisings multiplied. Commanders diverted resources to internal security. Her attacks remained targeted, crippling supply lines and eroding morale. She forbade attacks on civilians and enforced this discipline ruthlessly. The Terran Alliance, recognizing her effectiveness, covertly supported her efforts while denying direct involvement. She neither sought nor needed their endorsement. Her mission remained personal. Valor Commander Relan attempted to trap her by broadcasting a human hostage transport route. Lyra dismantled the trap and turned it against him. She rescued the captives, destroyed the escort fleet, and transmitted evidence of Relan's failure to the entire Dominion network. Her reputation transcended species. Alien civilizations that once viewed humans with suspicion now offered her sanctuary and intelligence, understanding that proximity to her attracted Dominion retaliation. They considered the risk worthwhile. Her network expanded into a coordinated insurgency, cells operating independently, but unified by her guidance. She weaponized Valor paranoia, using their fractured command against them. Her children recovered steadily under strict protection. Kaelin and Mira absorbed survival lessons from their mother's encrypted updates. She shared victories and setbacks, forging an unbreakable bond across the stars. The Valor Dominion's propaganda collapsed. They could not paint her as a terrorist when footage circulated of her sparing civilians and dismantling oppressive structures. Her name became a rallying cry. She identified a critical target, Arx Vitalis, the logistical hub coordinating a third of Dominion operations. Its destruction would cripple Valor infrastructure. She prepared meticulously, gathering resources, contacts, and defectors willing to risk everything. The assault would test every skill she had honed. It would not be the conclusion of her vengeance, but the next necessary step in fulfilling her promise to her children. The hunt would continue until the debt was paid in full.